Hey, I'm Duke on Twitch. If you want to support the channel and greensunzenith.com, you can find my Patreon, merch store, and singles store where you can buy singles through TCG Player or Card Hoarder in the video description. If you want to get in contact, you can also find all that info in the description below for things like donation deck lists or just wanting to reach out. Alright, let's get right into it. Hey, hope you're enjoying the content. A huge thank you as well just to my patrons quickly, not only those who currently support me, but those who've been part of the Zenith in the past. It's a pretty phenomenal feeling to be supported by other players, not just in the Maverick or Legacy sphere, but those who just enjoy Magic content. My content will never be behind a paywall, and these patrons allow that to continue to happen. You may have also noticed I've stopped adding ads during my YouTube videos, and that's not just a quality choice, but also a direct outcome of having people support me through platforms like Patreon, doing a nation deck list. So a huge thank you to you. I love what I do. I love being a community member of the Maverick and even Depths communities, the wider Legacy community in general, and it's a privilege. So thank you. All right, let's get back into it. Welcome back to Dukes on Twitch. Let me quickly change this deck name. And here we are. Very cool to be back. It's only been a week, but I really enjoy being back to the stream. Here we have a donation deck list from that Maverick Joe, who wanted to see Saito Sands take on an Abzan Legends deck in Legacy, which I believe he recently 5-0'd with and got another 4-1 as well, which is really good to see. So this is pretty similar to Maverick. At first glance, you'll see Green Suns, a few Green Suns targets, cards like Swords, Plowshares, Thalia, of course, Wasteland, Karakas, Windswept Heath, a lot of typical creatures and spells and lands that you'll see in a Maverick style Legacy deck. But at second glance, you'll see some other cards like Yoshimaru, Delighted Halfling, Flowering of the White Tree, and thinking, this is actually a little bit different. So this is a pretty aggressive take on a creature deck in Legacy that obviously is kind of built around a lot of legendary creatures, which we can cast off Delighted Halfling to be uncounterable, which is great. No need for Cavernous Souls, which can be a little bit awkward with mana. We have Samwise, which is fantastic with Karakas at getting things back like Wasteland, Windswept Heath, maybe a creature that we're blocked with, or something like Outland Liberator that we've used to sacrifice. Samwise is really cool. Some of you might be aware of the white-black Scam deck, or Sam deck that's running around, which runs Aether Vial, and is a bit more Dead Guy Ale / Death and Taxi that runs Sam in a really nice clean shell. But I do really like it here. We have, of course, Thalia, which I think is great. Yoshimaru, which is a little bit like a captain of the Champion of the Parish, but for legendary creatures. And it's whenever another legendary permanent enters the battlefield. So things like Flowering of the White Tree will trigger it. Things like Grist will trigger it, which is really cool. And then we kind of have a similar, or I guess like a subtle mid strategy, which is the ring. So Frodo Baggins, as it comes into play, or another legendary creature comes into play, the ring tempts you, and then also Samwise, the ring tempts you when it comes into play. And I did have to do a little bit of digging to find the ring and what it actually does. So first up, your ring bearer, it's legendary and can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. What this also means is that if Samwise comes into play, the ring tempts you, you then attach the ring to a creature, which makes it legendary. So something like Endurance, you could make it legendary, which means you could then return it with Karakas and then reuse it if needed, which is very cool. You might have seen in the black-white Scam or Sam lists that the deck runs cards like Solitude, which of course with Samwise you can make legendary and then interact with it through Karakas, which is pretty cool. But yeah, Ringbearer is legendary and can't be blocked by creatures with greater power, which is really nice at getting in against, say, like a big Murktide. Once you then, I guess every ETB that the ring tempts you, you then get these extra sections So whenever your ring bearer attacks, draw a card, then discard a card. Whenever your ring bearer becomes blocked by a creature, that creature's controller sacrifices at the end of combat. And whenever your ring bearer deals combat damage to a player, each opponent loses 3 life. So that is pretty cool. I'm actually going to keep this up during the stream just to know we have a way to get there. This deck is a little bit open to Bowmaster with a lot of X1s, but we do have the full 4 Flowering of the White Tree, and then also the Legolas's Quick Reflexes, which is pretty dope. Pretty happy to see that. Minas Tirith is another cool card. It comes into play untapped. If you control a legendary creature, it adds white. And then also for 2 mana, you can draw a card if you've attacked with 2 or more creatures this turn, which hopefully we do get the chance to do. So yeah, pretty keen to see how this one ends up. And then the sideboard, pretty classic. Leyline for graveyard decks, Thoughtseize for combo decks, and some of the Stoneforge Mystic decks. Path, just remember Snuff Out, great removal for creatures in different capacities. And then Force of Vigor as just pretty clean answer to any artifact or enchantment hate we have in this league. So yeah, pretty keen to see how this unfolds. Go to gameplay. If anyone has seen this deck before, I'd love to know. Or if you've played against anything similar. If you're watching on YouTube, definitely leave a comment. If you've maybe played this in paper, or one of the previous questions. But yeah, it's really cool to see Sato-san do well with this deck, because I know that yeah, he plays a few different versions of typical Maverick, things like Oath of Ghouls, Hidden Gibbons, and he has some strong finishes with them as well, which is really cool to see. It's always nice to see players take an archetype and then put their own kind of finesse into the build and see it perform well. Also, I kind of thought that MC Magic Fest, MF, Amsterdam was going to be a bit of a pipe dream, but it's looking to be the real deal, which is cool. So if you're heading to that, I might see you there, which is really sweet. I would have then played Magic on 4 continents, which is kind of cool. Don't think I'll get the full spread, but you never know. Alright, here we are. Probably want to have a pretty aggressive start, so like 1 drop, 2 drop. This isn't the worst on the draw. We do have Delighted Halflings, which is nice. It is a 1-lander, but we do have double Delighted Halflings, so I'm pretty happy to see where this goes. Verdant. Verdant could mean a lot of things. So I think here, now it's a little bit tough because I kind of just want to get the forest so we don't get like removed on the halfling and then removed on the land. But it means we can't cast the Sword Plowshares without another land. But I kind of like just making sure that in the opening turns we can control our mana a little bit. No end step removal is kind of cool. Sphere. Okay. Not too bad. A land is perfect. So they're most likely just going to be, obviously, lands. I probably don't mind Thalia here. I think we run a plains. Let's have a quick look. Yes, we do. I mean, if they have a loam effect or something else, I don't mind making their things a little bit harder to deal with. Okay. So they could take this up to 2 and take out the flowering if we play that. Could also just cast the Grist here. I don't mind that. Cast the Grist. It's a creature spell, so Thalia doesn't tax it, but Sphere does. Yeah. I actually don't mind that, especially off the other basic. One and one. Okay. That is fine. I probably don't mind the Savannah getting hit. Yeah. So let's go black. Grist. A blue pill. It's looking likely, which is really nice. I'm gonna turn it into a European trip with my partner, which is pretty sweet. So very much looking forward to that. See if they tick this up to 2. Okay. Karakas. That's pretty good against us, but we do have some ways of playing around it. Okay. I think we start with ticking up. Probably attack with both of these. Play Delighted Halfling, hold up quick reflexes potentially. Yeah. They're going to Karakas it. I could quick reflexes here, but probably don't mind just allowing this and replaying it for 3. It would cost an extra 1. I guess quick reflexes cost 3, so we can't actually double spell, but... Okay. Ooh, we also have hold up endurance, which is interesting. The tough part is that I feel like their Wasteland's going to go after the Savannah before they actually cast, say, a Loam. Like, if they have a Loam, they're probably going to Wasteland first and then get it back with Loam. So, I guess the Endurance does get rid of those 2 lands in that case. It's also pretty good in terms of... Actually, no. I'm going to stay with the Thalia plan here. They obviously care about it enough that I can try to make something work. Okay, that's actually great for us because now this flowering of the white tree is going to resolve. Or at least be quite hard for them to deal with. And the Grist isn't much of an issue anyway, so... I think if they want to spend 4 mana and the Blast Zone to trade with the Grist, we're pretty happy with that. Okay. Samwise is kind of cool. We can't double spell because of the sphere. I feel like we just get in for 2 and hold up the endurance for a turn. Can float green here. They go to pass. We'll cast endurance. Hit the graveyard, which is kind of nice. Maze is fine. 4 mana. What's 3 mana? Maybe Crucible? Another sphere. Okay. Hey Panda, a huge thank you. Hope you're doing well. I know the coast is getting a lot of rain, so I hope you're actually in a safe place. Okay, double sphere means everything costs 2 more. So Sam would cost the full 4, which we do get back the land. Ooh, okay. And that's actually quite tempting. Hey Stencil, a huge thank you as well. I think here we're just going to hold up the Samwise getting back a Wasteland. Yeah, just to say, this turn, okay, that's all good. So we can get back the Verdant at least, just keep eating land drops, which is nice. There's a stage. But thankfully the sphere means it's 2 mana for the activation, and then 3 mana for Dark Depths, but they don't have a mana off the maze here, which is great for us. Doesn't really matter what this is. Honestly, I don't mind making endurance. It's actually pretty interesting. Because the Karakas can deal with it potentially, so maybe we just, yeah, I think it is the endurance. Then maybe they don't read the flowering. Okay. The ward. I think we're just going to get Dryad Arbor at the end of this end step. It's cool to see flowering in play and actually doing something pretty good. Copy maze, that's fine. Another stage. Yeah, I think here we just go for Dryad Arbor. Just get these beats happening. It's actually pretty sweet. So they pay the ward, but then we quick reflexes it, and now 4 gets through. They only have, they can't maze this. They can maze 2, but then they take 8. That might be enough. Yeah, thankfully that's right on cue. Take 4, maze a 2, but then take 2, take 2. Very cool to win that. The forces are great. The Leylines I definitely don't mind. The Teeg is a pretty easy cut. Thalias aren't great, but we'll see what the cut is. The Grist they actually cared about, which is really interesting, but I don't think Grist is actually that great in this matchup, especially for this version. Like, we can't put things with Grist into the graveyard for Ramanap or to build a knight, so I'm pretty happy to cut that. The Ouphe does enough to cut off the Moxen. Endurance is great. Samwise is still fine. Liberator, Frodo. The swords I can sometimes see coming out. We do have reflexes to fight if needed, And we do have 2 Karakas and 4 Wastelands to deal with Maritlage. I don't mind doing something like this. That's probably gonna be it. Kind of like the Yoshimaru is a well-trained pup that will fight. Okay. No Leyline, which is always a consideration for when you start it in, but we do have something like turn 1 Yosh. It's a bit of a tough one post board because we don't have Force of Vigor, we don't have Leyline. There's a very fair like Savannah into Yosh into Flowering. Let's see where it goes. I don't mind keeping it 7. We also have interaction at Wasteland, which is cool. Right. Grove Pass. Definitely don't want to Wasteland that because of crop rotation. So let's go for Savannah here. Savannah allows us to hold up Legolas's quick reflexes next turn, while also playing Wasteland if we want to, and then also be able to cast a Flowering. So that's pretty sweet. Upward Life was up to date? Interesting. I will definitely get that up to date after this match. So they can just return if they want. If we play the Flowering, they obviously just return a response. I don't mind. Wow, I forgot this interaction as well. That's pretty cool. Oh, we could also Reflexes here. It doesn't really do a whole lot though. Maybe the play was Wasteland and then quick Reflexes, but I was a little bit scared of crop rotation, but that's all good. I'm actually pretty happy just to play this now. Now Ward's a lot worse. Wasteland's fine. Loam. Cool. They got back Wasteland. I could waste the Grove. Try to get them that way. It's a little bit risky though, and also leaves us to not really have much. I think the play is just going to be Forest hold up Reflexes. This way, if they do pay 2 mana to remove it, we have that. They didn't loam either. Very interesting. So they still have 3 cards. Is it worth fighting over? Does make it a little bit awkward for them. For their next turn. I think I want to Wasteland it next turn. Surgical and Reflexes. Okay. They hit a Blast Zone, they hit a Tiger. It'd be sweet if these weren't legendary and stacked. Okay, there's Leyline, which is actually quite relevant because Samwise is going to get back this Verdant to give me 2 black sources. The forest here is actually quite tough because it means we can't do 2 white spells that turn. We couldn't like play Yoshu, hold up Sam. Happy to attack first. See if they want to return. And now we can go for Bayou. A little bit tough because it does take us, like we only have 1 white mana now. I think this should have been a Savannah. Wasteland is actually very relevant. Yes. Alright, Outland Liberator. This is your time. Go wide, my friend. Oh, it's a 3/3 as well. I always forget the second piece of interaction. Guess they could just have double crop here. Yeah. Okay. Does that change things? Not necessarily. Probably don't mind the paths instead of the swords, to be fair. Maybe we do stay up on paths just a little bit. Go down on reflexes. Being at like answering Karakas isn't great, let's be honest. I don't mind going down on flowerings as well. Maybe bring back 1 more sword. The tough thing about swords is you don't want it in your opening hand. This doesn't have it, so I'm pretty happy to keep this. Turn 1 Delighted Halfling. Turn 2 Green Suns for Ouphe or Outland Liberator. Go for Savannah. Okay. Sam's kind of cool. We can't Green Suns for Ouphe right now, but potentially next turn. We want to hold up the Samwise here as well. Library. Now it's tough because like maybe I don't want a Samwise just to play Samwise. Yeah. I think now's probably the time to probably pivot towards Outland Liberator. Make them have to cast a spell next turn, or else the Liberator is going to start dealing with their actual artifacts and enchantments. Saga's fine. Torpor Orb. Okay. One mana open. Attack with both and then just flip the Torpor Orb's pretty good. Okay. Interesting. Don't want to play Samwise because it's an ETB. Okay. Let's go after the Torpor Orb. I could go after the library, but Torpor Orb is actually doing something here. I don't mind Wasteland. Get back Wasteland. Yeah. I'm just gonna make Samwise. Ooh, I could have played a land, right? Did I? Unless I played Wasteland that turn. Apologies if I missed a land drop there, that's pretty huge. Depths, okay. You have 2 mana, you have 3 mana with the Moxen. Yeah, just too tough for them. That's a really good showing as well because we didn't draw the Force of Vigor, we didn't draw the Leyline in the opener, we didn't really do anything unfair. It was probably the main decision of that game was switching from Collector Ouphe to turn off the Mox Diamond to going for Frenzied Tripbreaker, as it can take care of obviously them going wide with artifacts and enchantments without having to actually use a card to deal with it, so that's pretty sweet. Nice. I think a few things there with mana I could have done better, because if we are wanting to draw into Leyline of the Void, we should be going for black dual lands, but at the same time we don't want their wastelands to hit our black sources first, so you kind of want to hide them for a little bit. But with the Delighted Halfling there, you kind of want to get towards double black ASAP, because Delighted doesn't cast obviously create black mana for Leyline. That was nice. Alright, Yun. A little bit of an awkward one. Double Flower is pretty much mulligan. We don't actually have mana for it either, unless we Green Suns for... Yeah, this is just a little bit too awkward. Okay, actually pretty happy with this. We can drop a Swords to Plowshares and have a pretty decent hand. What I want to do is probably lead on the Forest here to not get Wasteland off the Savannah. Then potentially hold up Savannah if it is a Wasteland for the Sam, or just play Thalia if it's going to be combo. A little bit punished if they do get this back. But at the same time, I'm happy to stick to my guns and say that I want to obviously get a 2 mana, and Wasteland's probably more played than Grief. They did pitch a Troll, which thankfully I'm probably more scared of. But I guess we do have swords for it. I take Thalia. Okay. That makes me think they do have a way to get it back. Interesting. I guess because like main deck Spell Pierce, I'm just going to play around Grief. If they have Force Negation, I'm more happy to see that. Why would they want me to Swords? Makes me think they have like a Death Shadow. Like fetch Thoughtseize. But interesting they like, yeah, didn't say, hey, we have a threat, we'll take your removal so you can't deal with the threat. Okay. And we have Delighted Halfling mana, which is cool. Happy to play that. Okay. They chose to not shuffle with the Ponder. So they still know the cards on top. 1 card. Ponder, put back 3, draw 1, 2 on top, draw for turn, 1 on top. So they knew 1 card. Ooh. Don't mind us going for Delighted Halfling here. Keep trying to build out that mana. Okay. Stalker, cool. Nothing left the battlefield this turn, so that's actually not too bad. They do know about this, so I wonder if they try to remove it this turn. Obviously with the Wasteland, they're trying to go after our mana a little bit, so it makes sense if they're trying to find, say, Snuff Out, Dismember, Fatal Push for the Halfling. I could have... Oh, I can't block. Menace. Okay. Ooh, that's pretty good. Ooh, wait. Haha. Last 2 cards. Okay. I guess we just have to hold up the quick reflexes. One card for them. They're holding it. Interesting. So here we get to do something pretty cool, because this is a 2/3. We get to untap the Delighted Halfling, add a mana, which taps this, which deals with the static. Okay. That's fine. Oh, endurance. They have 1 card left. We can't actually cast it here. This is actually a consideration where, like, Delighted Halfling isn't as good as it looks, sadly. But it's only 1 endurance, so I can definitely see, like, obviously we know why Delighted Halfling is in the deck as the chosen mana dork, but it can come up. Honestly, I think we have to. Split second. Thankfully here it can't be a target either, which is nice. That's fine. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, we could block and then also, like, reflexes. Right? Ah, but now it's 5. Go to 3? Yeah, I think we have to open up all our options. Okay. That buys us somewhat of a turn. Hey Boyd, welcome. Hope you're well. We can block with the Delighted Halfling, float for Samwise, and then get Delighted Halfling back. Block. 4 damage. Samwise. No, we have to, this is tough because I actually don't think the mana, yeah, the mana won't go through. I actually don't think there's a way where we can get back the Dotted Halfling, unfortunately, because we'll lose the mana before damage, and damage is what sends the Dotted Halfling to the graveyard, and that's what Sam wants to see. But yeah, I guess we have to cast it anyway to get it into play. But that's a tough little thing. Yeah. So close. Like even like reflexes, untap and block. Okay. I guess we try. What I was supposed to do? It's a 1/1. That's okay. Yeah, no, because if we use the reflexes, I can't untap anyway. Actually, I don't think we have a way out of this unless we go like able to block, land into endurance, and then grist. But then even with grist, I guess we have an insect each turn, but yeah, it's tricky. Maybe Karakas was the right draw there. Karakas would have been kind of cool, but Karakas into a land, so you could like Samwise and then land as well. So endurance will be a 4/5. Bowmaster will do it. We like the paths. We like the Dismember. Not a big fan of the Snuff Out. The Leylines are definitely interesting, but I think are a little bit overkill. Not really like the part of the strategy we want to care about. I'm pretty happy to take out these 3. Teeg, Ouphe, and Liberator. Just isn't really the matchup for them. Kind of like everything else. Thanks, Quack. I will update that right now. Here we go. Clear, Magic Online, upload deck. Nice. Hopefully that'll redo. Like Thoughtseize is a little bit tough as well. Don't think it's as much of a Thoughtseize deck. The reflexes are sweet, as like ways to counteract Orcish especially. Hey, you're welcome. But yeah, big shout out to Sato-san, who's been championing this deck and doing really well with it. And also to that Maverick Joe, who's a patron. Wanted to see how the deck would go on the stream. And yeah, honored, honestly, to play one of Sato's lists. Always really cool to see the work that he does. And just to give you a little bit of a insight, Vince has some pretty cool versions. So he has this version. He was playing around with a Merrin in the deck, which is pretty sweet. We also have this version, which is like a Chain of Smog, Oath of Ghouls version with a Bloom Apprentice. You obviously have quick reflexes to also allow that combo to go off, which is nice. Just, yeah, some really cool, very clean Maverick shells with like a built-in combo, which is very, very, very cool to see. And I love that. All right, on the play. A little bit too fair from, yeah. Turn 1, I want a creature. Well, that's not great either. Ugh. Right, well. That's crazy. I think we can't afford to keep a Wasteland and probably the Eiganjo. Kind of want this in play. It could actually be the Legolas's quick reflexes and just say that flowering is kind of our way to play around that stuff. Ooh. These two. Done. Hey, Sahar. Very well, thank you. Currently working out plans for our European trip, which will include Magic Fest Amsterdam, which is very cool. Yeah, play the Verdant player on Wasteland. It'll be very nice. I can't wait to see everyone. I was kind of hoping around that time there'd be like an actual Legacy event on, but that's obviously very hard. We'll probably have 3 weeks, most of it out of Germany, a little bit of time in Amsterdam, of course. But yeah, see how it all pans out. Oh, sea pass. Okay. I see, I see. If we draw a land here, I'm pretty happy to Wasteland. That's pretty interesting, though. Why'd they do this? Maybe they're going to troll reanimate? If they're going to troll reanimate, I'm probably happier to just play flower here. Yeah, that'd be really cool. I know that Italy typically has some pretty cool events on around the summer, but I'm not too sure if we're too early in like June, July for that to happen. Honestly, the Wasteland isn't doing too much for us other than playing around days. They do have another Underground Sea, but I guess maybe we need this just in case they have like a Path to Exile. It also, if we draw into like swords, we want to play around days to some extent, which is tough. But we know they have another Underground Sea, which there's not too much difference between 1 and 2 for them. Voidwalker. Thank you very much, Sahar. What's this? Palindrome, yeah. I don't think we have too much there. Like, the Samwise is offline because the Voidwalker, the Troll and Wasteland's very good. Honestly, nothing too, like, broken either. Like, that's just how the deck is built, so. Alright, on the play again. You know, can't be unhappy about that. Ooh, we don't have a green source. That's a little bit rough, so we will mulligan this. Okay, we can put back the Dryad Arbor. We have turn 1 Delighted Halfling. Yeah, keep this, put back Dryad. Done. Probably just fetching a Savannah here. So that I have the ELM correct. the European Legacy Masters is a bunch of events that players can win, which puts them into the final event, which then they play out. I believe that's correct. I assume if there was a ELM on, I could play in it, and then potentially if I did do well, players could just go around me. I could just pass down my any sort of invite if for some bit of luck I did do well. What I'm trying to say is I could play in an event but not take away anyone's chance of getting into that final event. Oh, Underground Sea? What is this? Oh, yikes. How many lands does this deck play? I think a fair amount. 25. So, yeah, more than the average Mav. Up the beanstalk. Okay. And hey, Eli, hope you're doing well. Really nice work with your recent changes to lists that we've been seeing. Really cool. I probably don't mind Scrubland here. It means we have double white and also double white for like swords if they want to take one out. Okay, that's kind of cool. I want to see how big we can get this. If we can get a Yoshimaru to 10 power on stream tonight, I'll come up with something. That's fine. Don't care about that too much. Hey, Sato-san, very cool to see you. Oh, they kept it back. Interesting. Ooh. That's cool. Okay. What does Frodo do? Maybe I want a Frodo here instead of Thalia. Let's go. I assume our opponent is reading these cards. They need 3 more cards in the bin. Leave a ring carrier on Frodo. Oh, it must be blocked. Okay, yeah, that's a great. I should have actually. I mean, we even have the little ring effect. I should have really, yeah, kept that around, because then obviously it kind of makes this unblockable if they only have the one creature. If they somehow play the Uro this turn, we could try to untap, play Thalia for 2, and then play Swords for 2, uncounterable to some effect. I think we just allow this. I could Swords the Orc here in response. That way we're definitely getting in for nearly 10. But then we don't have a great answer to the Uro. I might even just want to draw a card next turn with this, so I could Swords this. Yeah, I don't mind this. This is quite nice because it plays around Leyline that turn as well. That's very true. Yeah, that's a lot of cards. Like after that Lauren revealed. That's 3, 4, 5, 6 at least. I think it's just draw a card. Maybe it's Thalia. Yeah, I was thinking, because I think I just want to try to draw a card here. Try to get towards like Karakas for the Uro, maybe. Another Swords is nice. But yeah, I think that's a really good one to be weary of, is the ring and its first ability allowing you to kind of attack with bigger creatures. That's very cool. Oh, they don't find a land there for the Yorion? That's pretty huge. Okay, that's kind of sad. Quick Reflexes is kind of cool. Hey Ramar, welcome. Hope you're doing well. That's fine. At least we get to 6 a lot of this turn. Is that red? I assume they're playing Minsk and Boo. I'm not sure like if this is a Leyline matchup just because of Uro. If they don't have Uro, I guess they have Bowmaster. They probably have Fourth Uralingus, so it's probably not great to bring in Leyline. I think we'll try to just Swords this. I should have Swords in response to the draw, to be fair. This mana base. Okay. Teeg. Teeg's pretty funny. Oh, okay. We sadly don't have the ability to Teeg and also hold up Reflexes, which is pretty unfortunate. Maybe a consideration from our Verdant, but that was pretty much it anyway. Must be blocked. Ward 1. Yeah, maybe I can attack under Uro. Yeah, I think I just got to get used to this. Yeah, it can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. There we go. Yeah. A little bit too easy there. I like the Thoughtseizers and the Teeg in this matchup. I don't like the Ouphe. I don't mind a Liberator as a way to just potentially deal with a Beans. Sadly, I should have played limited of that of Lord of the Rings, but I didn't get around to it. Swords is good. I wonder how many basics they actually run. Like if there's a world, because we are going to be pretty aggressive, if Path is better for us than Swords, because gaining 6 is pretty tough. Like, is there a world where you just switch out 2 for 2? They're probably a... They are most likely a Leyline binding deck, so like maybe the Force of Vigors are worth it. What do we have? We have like these potentially. I love the halflings, making things uncounterable. Thalia is nice, but a little meh. Maybe Thoughtseize is kind of the plan. More than Path. You really want to have removal for the Uro once it comes into play. Like, Yoshis are kind of cool, like... Tough one, tough one, tough one. I actually have no idea. Sato-san, how would you board against like a 5-color deck? I would say Teeg is a definite, having 2 copies of Teeg. Thalia and Sam, yeah, especially like getting cards back. They are a Bowmaster deck as well, so like I do want the white trees. But maybe just like a little trim here and there. Maybe I don't bring in the Thoughtseizers. Ugh. Yoshi? Okay. Sorry, dog. You gotta stay home. Reflexes is nice. Thalia. Duran Swords. Could just be like 2 Thoughtseize potentially. Or like 2 flowers. And then like just 1 Thoughtseize. The issue is I don't want to have like both forces in, or like 1 force in my opening, probably. But maybe I just want the 1 force. I don't mind that. I really like the thought of Thoughtseize turn 1. Yeah. Thoughtseize turn 1, turn 2 Thalia potentially. And Teeg potentially to line it up. We could also go with turn 1 Delighted Halfling. I don't mind like turn 1 Halfling, and then if we get to untap, we have Thoughtseize into Thalia turn 2. That's pretty cool. It's nothing that I'm really scared of. Turn 1 from them. And if the Halfling eats a sword, then we're probably pretty happy with that, to be frank. I'll just descend back. I should play land. Let's use that. Okay. I think it's the... okay, so... Let's have a quick think. If they get a dual land here, the Leyline binding is pretty quick to come online. But what we can do... Oh, okay. What we can do is go Thalia this turn, next turn Green Suns for Gaddock Teeg. Which is pretty sweet. which turns off the binding and potentially the Force of Will. I kind of want to take the Ponder here. Is that... I don't think that's too greedy. Take the Ponder. The Leyline binding costs 7. Domain is 5 and then 2 mana. But can they get Domain currently? They have to draw into a green source, most likely. I really want to take the Ponder. Yeah, I'm going to go with my gut. Take the Ponder and then just try to get spells into play that stop them from casting theirs. Yeah. No fetch. Interesting. Like, I guess they can force here. They also play the land that they drew off the top. Ooh, there's Teeg. Oh my gosh, that's even better. Oh my gosh, because of course with Delighted Halfling, the Green Suns would be counterable. But here, the Teeg makes it uncounterable. Insane. Okay. That's fine. Sadly, we can't Grist just yet. I was going to say Flowering is the best draw I think we have. Green Suns we can't cast because of the Teeg, but that's fine. So here we get to go white, 1, flower, and then just get in for a bunch. This also means Dryad Arbor next turn as well could be great. Hey Garanus, thanks for the follow. Hope you're doing well. If you play Legacy, let me know what you play. We're down to 6. I don't know if they have an out from this, honestly. They can't Supreme Verdict this turn. They can't Terminus. I guess they could potentially Swords the Teeg and then... No, they can't even Brainstorm into, like... Yeah. Halfling was really strong there. Okay. So we did see the Leyline. So I'm probably happy to have an extra force. I don't feel that comfortable. I guess it's tough because Green Suns does give us a considerable number of ways to deal with Leyline once it's on the board. And Force just isn't really a card that we want in our opening hand. A lot of the time it's just going to be rotting. And I don't really want to force something like a Beans because they've already drawn a card off it. But maybe that's also just like old school thinking. Like, no, I'm not going to deal with that because I've already drawn a card off it. But it's like, yeah, but they could draw like 5 extra cards of it, so you just have to force it. Take the card advantage loss and then try to gain it somewhere else. Maybe that's what the thinking should be. Tree was great there. Could it be a land? Like, is it greedy to take out a land? Like an Eiganjo? Like, 4 isn't really hitting much. Like, you could... Okay. You could first strike with a Thalia on Uro and then deal the 4 to kill the Uro. Don't think that's going to come up, but it is something to note. Could be Minas. 24 lands. Minas is cool, but they do have access to Bowmaster, which I'm a little bit afraid of. Halfling here is pretty great. Double Eiganjo, which is pretty funny, but we have mana. Alright, Savannah. Also, one thing to note, even if they, say if they played a Beans next turn, I don't want a green Suns for Outland Liberator without mana open to activate it on the same turn. Okay. I think it was just Samwise. I could Teeg, but I probably want to Teeg with Reflexes open. So I think just hitting another land drop is pretty nice. So they chose to shuffle after the Ponder, which is kind of good. Get a Scrubland. Maybe I actually just want the other Savannah. Samwise uncounterable. Once you start playing with uncounterable against a blue deck, you really realize how lucky we are to have Cavern Souls for so long as creature players. We'll go with Samwise. Oh, Wasteland actually seems pretty good here. I could have cast the other Sam there just to get that extra bit. Maybe that was correct. Because I'm not green sunning here. I think we're just going to hold up Reflexes and also Sam again. Honestly, if they get a Triome here, I probably just want to cast the Sam. Yeah. And get back that Wasteland right now, while also holding up Legolas still. Interesting. Okay. Keep the Ring Bearer one, I guess. I totally forgot they were legendary as well. I should have known that. I think that actually makes me a little bit skeptical on that play of just throwing it away. Do we care about this? I think we care about it enough. Like they're swordsing it. Like getting to Teeg again is pretty tough. I think so. I think we should play to the board. Protect what we can. Well, that's pretty nice. I'm going to try to take them off the underground sea here, I think. What did we take off last time? Trop. Maybe we just keep going for green. And then I think here we just do Dryad Fatigue. I know they have a force in hand. I feel like they wouldn't swords this without... Like, that's the reason they swords this. It's not like they're going after our mana in any other way. But at least it gives us something to do this turn. Oh. Okay, maybe then they have a swords. Well, thankfully we have another one. Interesting. I don't want to go fetching for Dryad Arbor just yet. I think we're just going to be holding this fetch to see what color we want, what we need. We do want to have full mana around most likely for a Leyline binding, so... Chose to not shuffle. Karakas would be okay. This is like a pretty niche situation, but where I do like Path a little bit more than Swords in Hand. Swords in an Uru gives them an extra 3 turns currently. But you also can't choose when this sort of situation occurs, so... They've also been pretty aggressive on fetching jewels as well, so... If they do have a basic, it still is in the deck, which is pretty tough. Chose to no shuffle, but they play no land for turn. Okay. That's kind of cool. Especially if they just want to, like, Leyline Binding again. I think in that case I'm happy to play an Eiganjo. Hold up Force, but also hold up Dryad Arbor. Okay, take it. I think just so they don't untap and just hardcast Force, I'm pretty happy just to try to Force of Vigor these now. Okay, look goes in a row. That's kind of nice. But now we're probably in Dryad Arbor mode. They're at 5. Best case is they block or Wasteland. Okay. I still like taking them off green here, just because we've taken them off a Trop, a Savannah, and potentially another. So you have one card in hand, and now you have a land, but you didn't find a green source. Now that's really interesting. Eiganjo should say, if your opponent's at full life, it deals 4 damage to their face. I'm just saying. Blood Moon should be a Leyline. And all evoke creatures should have 3 return to your hand. Verdant, come on, man. They are at 2. The little Dryad could... I know, right? Is it gonna be? Is it going to be? Is it the Dryad Arbor that could? It's gonna be a hardcast force, but that's fine. Happy to trade. They go to 1. Wow. Wow. Nice. To be fair, look at this. Look at this. 1 sword, 2 sword. They hit 2 swords, 2 ley lines. They pitched an Uro. Oh, they pitched an Uro. So they had a lot of cantripping, but didn't really find a whole lot for this matchup. So very lucky on our part, to be fair. Just one of those games where like your opponent can cantrip all they want, but they're just not finding exactly what they need. This is the famous mini-Mav deck, and I'm very happy to also have Sato-san, the creator, in chat. But the deck's sweet. The deck is really fun to play. Yeah, really, really enjoy it. I think the only thing is it would be cool to have a way to make use of additional flowerings other than just pumping up Yoshimaru. But at the same time, it's pretty rare you get stuck with like multiples in hand and 1 in play. Like I was thinking like a Solitude somewhere, but I do think like it's very hard to beat out on swords. Reflexes is sweet against a lot of the decks that we're playing against, and like Snuff Out Dismember Path I think is a really nice sample of different pieces of sideboard cards. Okay, so we are gonna probably keep this. It's got a Negator 87. I think this is fine. The Halfling can't really do a whole lot by itself, though. Yeah, maybe not. Like, imagine if they wastelanded us. I don't think they would, but like, what's Halfling doing there? I think it's a little bit. Okay, here we go. Happy to keep this. What's the drop? I do want the turn 1 Yosh. I do want the swords. I wouldn't mind the Legolas's quick reflexes. I do want at least 2 lands. And the endurance is nice to have against combo, so maybe it's Green Suns. Maybe it's Green Suns. It's tough though, because most decks that Endurance is going to be good against game 1 is also just a Grief deck, so that it takes the Endurance anyway. So maybe we keep this in bottom of the Endurance. Then we have some more flexibility with Green Suns than just what Endurance delivers. Okay. Not too unhappy about that. Oh, another one? Ah, but the legendary. Of course. Of course. Well, get in for one. And then it's a tough one. I don't really want to quick reflexes it because we have a second one anyway that I'm pretty happy hit a Green Suns for Delighted Halfling to turn on our uncounterable spells off the top. Great Brainstorm as well. It's a fantastic choice. Teeg off the top would be kind of cool. Teeg off the top and then hold up Legolas's quick reflexes. Wow. That's pretty good as well. That's pretty sweet. That's going to pump up our boy twice. Once by ETB, and then another. Nice. Yes, boy. Yes, boy. Tundra makes me feel this isn't going to be a combo deck, which is nice as well. Probably a blue-white X control deck. Hopefully they don't go for a Triome here. Nice, okay. Most likely Jeskai. They also won't like keeping a Terminus on top, which is great for us. But now we're just battling. They go to 8, and then they most likely fetch. Step through. Ooh, okay. This is fine. Wow, we have 2 ways to deal with this as well. That's pretty sweet. Oh, wow. Oh, no. Oh, wow, we get to quick reflexes in response and then have this up as our removal. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is a sweet, sweet section. This means that if they cast either piece first, we then just target the next one. Wow. I never thought of that coming up as like an interaction. That is very cool. Yeah, they're going to try to ponder their way out of this. Stoneforge. Okay. That's fine because the Delighted Halfling just deals with it. Add mana. Shoot it. And now we get to untap. Play a legendary creature. We want to keep this one. Goes to 5. Very cool. That was sweet. Man. That was really cool. Okay. Okay. I love the Snuff Out. I love the Dismember. I love the Paths. I really like removal because it hits both the combo side and also the Stoneforge Mystic side. Like Force of Vigor, they are going to be a Saga deck most likely. Like Thoughtseize is pretty interesting. I don't want to go full on Leyline because it can be really awkward. Teeg is fine, but not great. I think Teeg turning off our own Green Suns and Force is just a little bit too much. Maybe I don't want both Force. Kind of like the other match. Samwise is pretty cool. I could see a Flowering come out. Thalia is still fine. I could see that go down. The early aggression is really nice of Yoshimaru. But I could see it come out potentially and just go a little bit more controlling. But yeah, Thoughtseize is interesting. 2 tree. Ouphe Liberator. Frodo's cool, but maybe just for this matchup, I might rather have the 2 Thoughtseize. And then, because we're down to 13 creatures, I might take out 2 Legolases and bring in 2 Thoughtseize. Yeah, solid. We'll go for Bayou first up, I think. Okay. They chose to not shuffle. Okay. Bayou's nice because it means if we draw into a halfling, we can just cast that. Hold up, something else. Okay. So it's pretty much all removal here other than the Shuko. So I kind of like taking the Stoneforge Mystic as like that's their way to actually win the game. Flooded Strand. Green Suns, okay. Look, I don't mind, like, In this matchup, Green Suns isn't really going for a specific 8-bear, that I probably don't mind this turn just going for Delighted Halfling. It takes the swords most likely out. Could also go for Dryad Arbor, hold up Reflexes, but then it can't actually tap at the same time. But it is really scary knowing they have the Shuko, because it only takes one more card for them to actually go off. That's a little bit scary that they didn't even use the swords. Okay. Tundra. They did choose to shuffle, which is good. Now we do have somewhat of a plan. Okay. Start with Thoughtseize. Probably just taking the Shuko, so if they want to use their swords, that's more than fine. Brainstorm. Okay, hiding maybe. Brainstorm's a little bit tough. At least if they hide both pieces, we could take a cantrip, stopping them from being able to draw into both of them on the same turn. Alright. I think here it is the Teferi. They have a Saga. Ending this swords. It's a little bit tough if they pivot into the Saga plan. I think we have to just try to go for getting Grist online here and getting some sort of threat into play. Hopefully don't hit like Outland Liberator. Force of Vigor would be tough as well, but I don't really mind. Interesting, they're gonna daze at returning a land. Why? Why return the land? It's not a sanctuary. Maybe they just kind of forgot that it could be. That it is encounterable. Ah, maybe they have like Murktide and they wanted to put an extra creature into the bin. Ending's fine. I guess one small thing to note there as well is that Grist kind of stops them playing Saga that turn because they want to have the extra mana for Prismatic Ending. There's Liberator. Okay, that's pretty great. So let's get in with one, hold up Halfling. Three mana. Teferi. We don't care about that. Yeah, because now we can just fetch Dryad Arbor. So they have a flooded strand left. Maybe they actually use that to find. So, a few things here. We could just take out the saga. Could also try to force it. I think just playing the Liberator and getting rid of it now is good. It does turn off the ability to get it back with Sam, but I think that's okay. I think the 1-for-1 trade is fine. We also have Force of Vigor for the Shuko, if that's a line. Okay, Endurance is pretty sweet here. Happy to Thoughtseize first. Caldra. Feeling good. They played Polluted Delta. Interesting. So they kept the Tundra in hand. That makes sense, obviously, because of Brainstorm. Do I want to increase the clock here with just Samwise? I think I do. Try to make it 5 turns. Dryad Arbor legendary. No, I think Sam is good. We know about the card in hand. Having the reflexes as just a way to ping for 1 potentially. So strong. Interesting they use the shuffle effect there as well, because Brainstorm is definitely a live draw. Don't need to Thoughtseize just yet either. Okay. Shuko, nice. Land. Now we can hold up Endurance as lethal next turn, take him to 5 and then swing for 6. Prismatic Ending isn't... I guess Prismatic Ending is a little bit annoying, but not too bad. I could also just swing after 2 turns. Yeah. Like if the last 3 cards are like days and then both pieces, it's a little bit tough. I didn't double waste because I want to hold up Endurance and also quick reflexes. I chose to shuffle. Nice. Alright, the 3-1. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be back in a second. Great time for you to follow the channel if you're not already. You can also find me here on YouTube and of course Twitter. And join the Discord. Be back in a sec. Alright. This would be very cool to finish off as a 4-1. What have we played against tonight? We have played against lands. Lands was the 2-1. Shadow. 2. 5 color. Control beans. And then that deck just then was Ceph. Nice. There we go. Hey team, welcome. Hope you're both doing well. A good mix of decks tonight. Lands, Shadow, 5 color beans, and Ceph Breakfast. Deck's been cool. Deck's been, yeah. I mean, Delighted Halfling's been really nice. I love the deck's been built around that. Definitely accepting more. Not specifically tonight, but yeah, for future streams or recordings, definitely. You can find more info on that at greensunszenith.com/support us. Alright, here we go. Up against Garbage Aggro. Well, some would say that this deck that don't know it. Okay. We already have a lot of mana. We don't have Wasteland with Sam, so like Sam here isn't really needed. It's not a bad hand. Hey Maverick Joe, very cool to see you. Hope you're doing well. Deck's been sweet. Very nice, Spyman. I saw on, I think Twitter, I saw both those results, which is very cool to see. So a huge congratulations. That's very, very cool. This hand is sweet. We have Yosh with white mana, or we have Verdant getting a Savannah into Yosh, which I kind of like. So we're going to keep this. It could just be the Bayou, because we have a source there anyway. All right. Saga. Pretty happy to reset the game state here. I did not see. I think I did see. It looks very cool. I think it's a 4 mana card that deals damage because it has to be blocked. Is that right? It has to be blocked? Ooh, Samwise. Still think just getting rid of this. This to me screams Soul Land in hand. If it's 8 cast, I would love to be able to play this Karakas next turn on an Emery. Another Saga. Okay. Another Wasteland? No. See, even that little thing. I think I could have just played the Karakas, played Yosh, and then kept this fetch land for the Sam. But here we are. X damage and X lands into play tapped from Gym or hand. I love that you said Gym as graveyard. Just to the fetch. That is very cool. I wonder if it would need a bit more build around, but it does look pretty sweet. Oh, Servant. Okay. Oh. Minas Tirith. Oh, so close. Minas Tirith triggers Yosh, which is cool. They get Grindstone of this and just have the mana for it. We attack. Sadly, just a little bit too slow. I really wish Moloch was online. Would be very cool. Yeah, sadly that's... I guess they... Yeah, because... Yeah, Grindstone and 3 mana. Tough. Probably rather not show the deck. I love the Force of Vigors. Not a big fan of the Teeg. I love the Snuff Out and the Dismember. Thalia's fine, but probably not in 3s. Flower I could see coming down. Thoughtseize is always interesting. I do like these a lot. Endurance is good, Ouphe and Liberator. I don't mind the Yoshes, but if they have Furies, that's a little bit tough. Maybe it's a case of actually acknowledging Fury a little bit. You like Disruption. Yeah, I think it's the Yoshes out, sadly. Maybe just one Thalia. A lot of interaction. We do have the Flower, which is kind of cool, but we're getting Scrubland with this for Snuff Out. Don't see us, like, this is a very reactive hand. We really want to have a threat, so... Okay, you have that threat in Ouphe. It's kind of cool. I don't mind this hand. I think it's Endurance we put back. And then we have Sword off the fetch into... So it's probably going to be Scrubland, Plains, and then we find the Forest off the Windswept. I do like that Tree gives Ward. Don't want to draw the Scrubland, so we'll fetch it out. I guess that's another decision. Like maybe we don't go for the black. I went for the black because of Thoughtseize, but now we can't. We don't have double green for Ouphe to hold up the sword. Sorry, the quick reflexes, but no wood to Ouphe. Just legendary. Sorry, yeah. Okay. Could just run it out here. Could also. So I'm really trying to think about Blood Moon here because let's get out the old trusty paint. So obviously I would love to go for a green, but then we only have one green in play. If I play the Heath here, go for Savannah, then we have green-white to play this turn. And then next turn, if we draw a land, we have a green source. We have the Ouphe plus Legolas' quick reflexes, which is pretty sweet. But if we play the plains here, and we want to play the Ouphe next turn, we can't play Ouphe and also hold up reflexes. I don't mind playing out the Ouphe. Yeah, I think if they have Blood Moon, they have Blood Moon. I guess, yeah, Blood Moon just turn off the Saga. That's true, so it is a little far behind. No dismember. It's kind of cool. I wonder if they go for the combo or if they go fair towards something like Shadow Spear. I guess Shadow Spear doesn't do anything because of the Ouphe. It would be very cool to have cycling, or like if you control a legendary creature, it has cycling, something like that. Or like discard one, get something else. Oof. Well, that's kind of nice. Even Force of Vigor off the top we can't cast. Okay. That's definitely interesting. That's Outland Liberator. but then they still have like 4/4s in play. Maybe just too slow. Maybe for these sort of decks we should have like 3 Force of Vigors. Interesting they didn't make it then to get in the extra 2 damage. Oof. Yeah, like we can attack, but like they block. We can swords the creature. But then we're just open to a lot more. Still have Dryad Arbor, I guess. Guess we should have got Dryad Arbor there so they can't get Needle and name Verdant. Oh. We get a 3/2, which is nice. We also get a chest, so we might as well open the chest. Stomping Ground. They really need to reprint these, right? This deck was sweet. I had a really nice time with this deck. I thought that was, yeah, really, really cool. I think it actually showed a lot of promise as well, which is nice. Because it's really cool, especially right now where Maverick isn't at the greatest position to be trying out new things and seeing what works. And obviously building around things like Legendary is pretty powerful. We beat some pretty sweet decks tonight. We beat Lands, Cephalid Breakfast, and 5-color Beans. That was cool. I mean, like double Teeg and 4 quick reflexes against 5-color is very cool, which I really like. Yeah, I think Solitude somewhere in the deck would be very cool with the flowers, and also you do have Solitude to get back with Sam, which is something you can get back on turn 2, the same turn you play Sam instead of just a fetch land, which is really cool. Could definitely see Solitude in the list somewhere, but yeah, honestly, deck was sweet. It's really nice and clean as well. Like it's a little bit easier to sideboard than some other decks where you have a lot of one-ofs or you have a lot of tutor targets, which can be a little bit tough to take in and out, so very happy with that. Let's open all of these. Let's just see what we get. Don't think anything great. Got a cool Loam. Ransom, Shadow Spear, Pedal, Pyroblast maybe. Okay. Roaming Throne. I've seen this card before. I feel like I've seen it in a few different lists trying to get there. I really wish this card was better. I really thought this could be in a Maverick shell, maybe like a green-white one, because it is obviously pretty sweet, especially in like a Fiend Artisan list. Getting back everything, it's a little bit win more. I get it, but... And to be fair, Renegade Rallier just does the same thing pretty much, but a little bit more flexible, so... Hey, a huge thank you to all of you for coming in. A huge thank you to Maverick Joe for the list, and to Sato San for, of course, championing the list. I'm going to see who else is streaming, as it's just about to tick over midnight. It looks like Tagores is playing some Legacy, so hey, enjoy that. Big thank you once again. I'll be back on Thursday night with probably one of the lists that was posted above about the depths list that did really well online. So thank you very much. We'll catch you next time.